broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hi guys, it's the Flash After Show on AFTERBUZZ TV. Tonight we're breaking down and discussing Season 2, Episode 5, called The Darkness and the Light, or as I like to call it, hey, it's date night! Everybody's in love.
I love it.
Thank you so much. Guys, if you want to comment along with us, if you're watching live, you can do so on YouTube. We've got the chat roll up. We love hearing from you. If you're not watching live, you can watch live at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right after the show airs. Maybe like 9:03, 9:05, you know. Give us some time to go through our notes. It's okay. Let's do some intros. I'm Jeffrey Masters. I tweet from Jeff Masters1.
I'm Tauri J. Miller. I tweet from Tauri J. It's TaurijAY.
And I'm Roxy Striar, and you can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar.
Cool. Michael Drew's out today. He'll be back next week. Cool. I have a question before we start diving into the actual episode.
What is it?
Okay.
King Shark. We shot with a gun last week and killed him, as far as we know. Do you guys still cheat it? We didn't get a full episode, like, chasing him down?
I was talking about this yesterday, actually.
Oh, do tell.
And I think it would be interesting to have a whole episode with him, because he's a fun character. But at the same time, I like just having this fun brief moment where it's like, I'm cool, and you got to experience that. It's a cameo. It like felt great.
Okay.
So I think if you had him for a whole episode, it would be a little much. You'd be like, I don't want that shark anymore.
I think a couple of things. I kind of agree with you there. I also think he's probably really expensive.
Oh, yeah.
In the same way that Grodd is. And I also think that you never know. We have Earth 2, Earth 3, Earth 4. They all have their own King Sharks, maybe. So we could see King Shark in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a cool villain, and it looked so cool last week that I was like, give me more of him.
Yeah, but I think we have all great villains. Every single week, there are great villains.
Okay, yes, but there's something cool between, like, there's a difference between a girl in a helmet who's, like, shooting light from her hands and, like, a massive shark that is, like, tearing the city apart.
I mean, sorry.
I was just going to ask if you have a problem with badass women. Seems like you
not
might have
badass women, just like all women in general. I just don't see like the need to see them on screen or like have them talk.
I see.
It's like a personal preference, but like
really
let us know if you guys agree, please. Yeah.
Just to clarify, he's kidding. I know.
Oh yeah, sarcasm. I cut you off, Tauri. I'm sorry.
Oh no. I was gonna say there's no confirmation that he's dead necessarily. He was just shot in the back. He could be stunned and in the pipeline. We don't know. Though I would like to see the scene of them dragging him through the streets.
A little heavy.
Yeah.
That is such a thing that they would do too, to be like, oh yeah, we stunned him. Oh yeah, he's in the pipeline.
Right.
We enlarged a cage for him. Mm-hmm. God. You mentioned Earth 2, 3, 4, 5 at all infinity, Roxy.
I did.
This was a cool episode where we met not Harrison Wells, but actual Harrison Wells. It was just like such a fascinating thing to watch this person that we know so well and to see him
know so Wells.
Nice. But he had different mannerisms, and he's like, the actor is Tom Cavanaugh's like playing a different character.
Different voice a little bit too.
Yeah.
Like he smoked some more cigarettes. He was kind of doing the Roxy rasp tonight.
Yeah. Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
You feel connected. The way that Barry Allen's been like the emo Barry all the season, not so much now, but like this was like the emo Harrison Wells for me.
I mean, I liked it in that like we got a whole season of nice Harrison Wells, and then we also got like conniving Harrison Wells. But this was I imagine for him a fun opportunity to do something different and do it like with style. And like this one, he's super mean, but he's also super fun in a way.
I'm ridiculously happy just to have him back. Mean, fun, silly, serious, don't care, love seeing him on screen, love seeing him as part of the team. I'm just going to call them the team for now. We'll get to that later.
I mean, I don't think we should wait till later. I think we should tackle it right now. Last week, you gave a call out to our audience to say, like, hey, what should we rename the Scooby Gang as? And I saw a lot of conflicting answers. I saw a lot of people that supported Scooby Gang, and I'm actually not convinced we need to change the name. What do you think?
All right, here's the deal. There were a lot of you guys out there that were in support of Scooby Gang. Do you guys want to explain for the people who are first-time listeners what that even means? What we're going through right now?
Well, yes. So from the inception of this podcast,
yes, Tauri.
Yes, from the inception of this podcast, we had deemed the name the Scooby Gang.
Oh, that low voice. That's amazing.
Pretty good.
From the inception. Your turn.
However, the Scooby Gang is often attributed to other people. For example, those in the Scooby Gang, which, for some of our older readers or current fans of Scooby-Doo, it kind of, hit a nerve.
It also is a Buffy reference. So,
yes.
So some people love it, some people hate it. It's pretty polarizing. I will say we got some clever suggestions, though, so I wanted to read some of these out loud.
Tell me your favorites.
Shout out. These are my favorites. From Kelly Cogley, she says we should call them lab rats.
That's funny.
Which I really like. The number one, other than Scooby Gang, that was requested by a lot of people, but one of the people was Team Forward said Team Flash. So it's pretty simple. We call Team Arrow.
Yeah.
So Team Flash. Roderick said Speedster Gang. Jeff, Team Starlab. Ryan, Flash and the Flashlights.
The Flashlights.
Sounds more like a...
Yeah, it's like a Motown band.
I felt like it was kind of some strange band name. I agree. Michael says that we should call them Android phones because they support Flash. No, we're not sponsored by that.
That's really amazing.
Yeah, so we got a lot of them. I think that you guys really killed it. We got Flash Mob from DB2 King 02.
The Flash Mob.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Flash Mob.
Yeah.
Would it kill everybody if you changed the name every week?
I think that as long as you guys are giving suggestions, we'll keep trying things out until there's a clear winner.
Okay, I think tonight we have to... What do you guys want to call it? Should we do the Flash Mob or we should do the Flashlights? The Flash Mob?
I think we go... What do you think,
It has to
Tyler?
be flashlights.
I think we go flashlights.
Yeah.
I think we go
flashlights.
flashlights, especially considering the episode tonight.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. Oh my god, darkness and the light.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes. And who came up with flashlights?
Flashlights is from Ryan Saldana, Flash and the Flashlights.
Thank you, Ryan. So, speaking of the flashlights, were you guys surprised that it was Barry that was sticking up for Harrison Wells and not that the flashlights were having problems with Harrison Wells?
They weren't having nearly as much of a problem with him as I thought they were going to.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to shun him. I thought they were all going to react the way Joe did, that every single one of them would try to shoot him. That's not what we saw. They were kind of more accepting than I thought they would be.
Yeah, well, I feel like if this was earlier in the season when we hadn't established the whole Earth 2 and we hadn't seen a bunch of doppelgangers, I think they would have been a lot more reluctant. But now that we've established this, they've had the chance to kind of, one, get over their feelings because we've had the whole Wells confession, so Barry's been able to get through the hurt that Wells has caused upon him. So I felt like this was one of the, not rare times, but this was one of the occasions where Barry is super duper level-headed and has to take the lead, otherwise everyone else would fall apart.
Right.
Luckily, Harrison Wells saved his life the end of last episode to kind of like prove to him.
Okay, but Jeff, I thought that was a really interesting reason why he believed this to be Earth 2 Flash. How many times did Harrison 1 Earth 1 Harrison Wells save the Flash's life? A lot of times.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. He kept saving his life. So
point.
I was thinking, that's not proof. He was always trying to make you faster. He was always saving your butt. So I don't think that is proof. The only proof they really have is that they believe Jay Garrick is from Earth 2 and Jay Garrick knew him.
Yeah,
that was the only thing that resonated as proof to me.
Yeah.
This is a completely different person. You know, he, like they said, he didn't kill Flash's mom. He didn't like try to take down everybody. He's not the Reverse Flash. That is somebody that was eliminated. So because he looks like him, I think that they're able to like get past that.
Right.
I would have a hard time. I would have a really hard time, especially if he ripped my heart out, if he killed my fiance, if he killed my mother. This isn't just a guy that, you know, cut you in line at Starbucks and now it's Earth 2 him and it's like, oh, that was annoying one time.
And that's
Sorry,
why
not
so...
at Starbucks, at Jitters.
And that's why it's so interesting that Joe, who we love as the audience and we really trust Joe's judgment, always did not trust Harrison Wells.
Yeah.
He comes in shooting.
Guns a-blazing.
Guns a-blazing. And then he gives Iris a gun.
Yeah.
Yo.
That's some new info, knowing that he's taught Iris how to shoot and she can like handle herself. Mm-hmm. Nothing against like women, just like people in general. Like if you were giving me a gun, I'd be like, which way does it point again?
Yeah. Tauri, what did you think about this?
I thought it was great. I mean, it makes sense because the whole time that he was investigating Wells, he was actively being threatened, or at least, he was being threatened, and also Iris was being threatened. So having this guy who you have known to be evil back on the scene, of course you're going to put in precautions, and of course we saw last season that he was teaching Barry and Iris how to box, so of course you would imagine that he'd teach them how to use a gun. Like Iris has proven herself with a gun because she shot Clock King. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, good memory.
I just can't believe that Joe came in shooting when he saw that the flashlights were clearly having a conversation.
Yes.
Right.
And not only that, but he is aware of the 52 different holes and he's aware of Earth 2. He's aware of Jay Garrick. I would think that one of the thoughts that would come to mind is, this isn't who I think it is.
Right.
But instead of even asking, boom, 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 three shots.
Aren't you always taught as a police officer, like you like make them like give up their weapon, you like hold them like freeze, stop. You don't just come in shooting.
Right. Well, I mean, that was before metahumans existed, though. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Cop training is different these days.
Yeah, I will say though that I feel like, especially in that sequence or in this grouping of scenes, the flashlights and Barry have all become a lot more like brutal. Like even when he being Joe and Barry were talking in the hallway, Barry was like, I am actively resisting killing this guy, which is something that you don't expect a hero to say.
Yeah.
But like they're all, shoot first, ask questions later, because they've been through so much.
They've grown up a lot.
Yeah.
Do you think part of the reason Joe shot is that he knows Barry is faster than a speeding bullet? And he would have caught them?
No.
I think that he was trying to catch Wells off guard. Because, I mean, best case scenario, he gets a shot in. Worst case scenario, he is a speedster and it's confirmed for everyone.
Okay.
That's a great point. I was just surprised by all of this, and then Joe comes out with that line, you can't murder someone who's already dead.
Oh, yeah.
That was dark.
That was dark.
Dark and twisted. And by the way, kind of comes back when we get to the Linda Park storyline. Joe, you had a very similar mindset there. Scary.
Yeah. You know what? Also, though, just from Joe's perspective, it's not that big a stretch to think that this person on Earth was evil, this person on Earth 2 will also be evil. Because in my mind, at least, like I would think that people grew up in similar settings and like, well, there might be different tweaks and this, that, and whatnot. Like, I think people would, it's like the nature versus nurture. Like, the nature is the exact same. So like the nurture in theory shouldn't be that different. But as we've learned, it's not the case a lot.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the whole thing with multiverse theory, is exploring that other path that you could go down.
Yeah.
Which sometimes is pretty similar to the path that you took, it seems.
Yeah.
A lot of the same stuff has happened.
Totally. I was also curious to see that they, or hear that Harrison Wells created Zoom.
I think the particle accelerator.
But the particle accelerator did not blow up on Earth too.
Right. It seems like it was a more muted instance. So it was, instead of exploding and causing a giant wave, it more seeped into the community from underground.
And that's why when he was using the word metahuman, like in public at this like press conference, I was surprised, like, wow, this is like a common term that everyone is used to when they're using.
Right.
It sounds like a very different Earth.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too. There was a bunch of stuff that was going on over there that was similar to here, i.e. Big Belly Burger.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cute. But the term metahuman, all of that, really interesting. And I wonder if they have experienced Earth 1 before, or if they kind of had knowledge of it.
Well, I mean, Wells has a lot of knowledge of Barry. And that kind of like sends off my like warning signals to be like, why do you know this? He even said something about he studied him and his speed, and he like knows about him. He was like very upfront in saying that.
I still don't trust him, especially knowing now that he has ulterior motives when we see what's going on with his daughter.
Ulterior motives meaning he needs to save her.
Yeah, that's the only thing he's thinking about. Just the same way as Wells. Wells didn't actually care about Barry's life. He just needed Barry to do something to get him to be able to go back to the year that he was from. But this Wells needs Barry to kill Zoom.
And yet, it's not... He doesn't need Barry to do something for him for this bad reason. He can tell Barry the reasoning behind it. And
he hasn't.
And Barry will still do it.
But he hasn't done that.
No, you're exactly right, but I see no reason why he can't tell him and still like accomplish his mission.
It depends on what his mission is. I mean, I know that essentially what he's doing is he's kind of trying to make Barry into a mercenary. He's trying to get Barry to the point where he can kill the guy who's holding his daughter hostage.
Yeah.
So he's just a tool.
It also depends why Zoom took his daughter and what exactly that whole storyline is. Once you explain that Zoom has your daughter, you don't really get to stop there. You kind of have to say a little more than that.
You're right. I mean, Wells was unapologetic the entire time. You know, when like Cisco and Caitlin are like, we hate you and here's our reasoning, he was like, that sucks, bro, get over it. He wasn't like, whoa, dude, like I'm sorry, I understand where you're coming from, but like let me reassure you that that's a different person.
Yeah.
I should write these lines. You know, I'm just saying.
You're
like,
good.
Thank you so much. When Zoom, we saw the clip with Zoom and the daughter. Was that the first time we saw Zoom not like shaking and not computer animated? I just was so fascinated by the black flash mask with the black lightning bolts and the mouth covered up.
It wasn't the first time. I think the first time was when we flashed to Earth 2 and he was about to kill Jay Garrett.
Oh, it was just the first good glimpse, I guess.
Right. It was the first time he was having like a casual conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
You know, hanging out.
Zoom.
Taking some hostages.
I know.
You know,
just
Saturday night.
I really appreciate also though knowing like kind of the reasoning why Zoom is doing this. He's obsessed with speed and he needs to be the fastest person.
Yeah.
Right, but more than that, what I really enjoyed tonight was the feud between Jay and Wells and learning information about Zoom through the two of them fighting.
Yeah.
And not quite knowing who's giving the full story and who exactly to trust. And so I don't feel like we know 100% about Zoom, because as much as Wells says he knows everything about Zoom and Jay says, I've been fighting Zoom for 2 years, clearly neither of them know as much as they think, or they would have defeated him.
And well, that was a fascinating comparison that Wells made, that you haven't been hunting Zoom, you've been running from Zoom.
Yeah,
Right.
He's been hunting you.
Yeah, it was a really weird to play Jake Garrick against the Flash. Mm-hmm. Like that, like weird economy.
Yeah. Well,
Go ahead.
to me, I don't know why, and I know that we live in the DC verse, but especially their first encounter, it really reminded me of the Marvel Civil War storyline, where it's this tech genius against this enhanced human, and they're both fighting, and one person is all about like identifying and registering mutants or metahumans, and the other one is all about like the truth and all that stuff. So I thought that was a really interesting dynamic.
Also kind of like Heroes, what's going on with the tech stuff over there.
It's just like it. So anyone who's not watching Heroes Are Born, catch up and then come back to this
come talk
podcast,
to us.
and you'll totally understand what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Going off you just mentioned metahumans, it reminded me. They introduced a new term, which was breachers. I know they've like called them that before, but now they're using it like on the whole instead of metahumans. Or maybe along with it.
Right.
Just like these are breachers.
Yeah.
It just like struck me that they are labeling them.
But I feel like Barry is so not a breacher. How can we call Barry a breacher?
Everybody who's coming over.
Well, yeah.
All the metahumans that are like traveling, who are breaching.
We're breaching, I guess.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's cool. It sounds cooler than Earth 2 Intruder.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Please.
Just going back, because this is right now we're talking about the fighting between Wells and Jake Garrick, and I feel like we have reason to trust and to not trust both of them. And one of the reasons that I trust Wells a lot tonight is what does eventually happen with Dr. Light, but him predicting the whole thing and just seeming to know what exactly was going to happen. And Jake Garrick was almost so naive that he didn't have that knowledge. So, and one part of me is like, I really kind of trust Wells here, but another part of me trusts Jay, because Jay is like, listen, when you can't really trust Wells. He's got a lot of stuff going on, and then we see Wells with the daughter. So I mean, is one of you guys on one side and one's on the other? Are you both on both teams?
Listen, even though we trust Jay, it doesn't mean he's giving good advice.
Do we trust Jay? Because
I do, and I only do. I do because I think they're setting him up to be trusted. But I also believe that if the Flash TV show turned Jay Garrick into a villain, then there'd be like rioting on the streets, and people would be livid. You know, so like they can't do that. But even so, it doesn't mean that he's gonna be like a great leader who can like give good advice. As we learn now, he's a little bit apprehensive.
Tari, what do you think?
I mean, I guess I understand both sides in that, like, yes, Jay was being naive, but that's definitely within his character. And I think that typically, yeah, Dr. Light wouldn't have killed anyone. So he was right, but at the same time, they're both desperate. Both Dr. Light and Harrison Wells, or Harry Wells.
Harry.
So, I mean, I guess both of them being in that desperate state, Wells was in a better place to understand the lengths that she would go. But
because he can relate more.
He can relate, yeah. I mean, I definitely don't trust Wells, but I don't think that he's as big a threat as we think he is.
Yeah. And well, then I think you're making a good point. Whereas this Harrison Wells is not the one who killed Barry's mom.
Right.
Which it doesn't mean that we should hate him, but we also still don't know whether or not we can trust him for like other reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we should move to the Dr. Light. There was a big run towards the light, please. There was a big reveal in Dr. Light's identity. We have to apologize. I have to apologize to Roxy.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yo, I know a girl's lips anywhere. I recognize that mouth. I'm like, it's Molly's Chow. And you guys are like, I don't know if that's Linda Park. I'm like, it is. I could tell.
Oh, I didn't question it. I said, no, you're wrong.
Yeah. I was trying to help you out. I was trying to make you look better. I don't know, something about it. And then all of a sudden I just started guessing like random actors if it wasn't her. But I really felt like it was her. And then when you guys said no, I was thinking, of course it's not her. How could it be her?
Right.
And then it was, and
Yeah, that was a cool storyline twist.
Yeah.
Especially because where we see we're going next week.
We were going next week. It looks bizarre. Also, though, I don't know how Dr. Zoom knew that it was Linda Park that Barry had dated before. That just implies a lot of research.
Right. I feel like I felt like they were reading into it more than they should have. Like,
do you think that was a coincidence?
I felt like it because she's the first one. She's the first and only one who had any connection to Barry before this. So it's not like
he's stepping up his game.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
I felt like it wasn't a coincidence at all. I feel like he's watching him. At first he starts sending people, seeing who can try to take him. None of it, and he's trying to get smarter with it.
I agree, but like on like the history of Barry Allen, Linda Park is such a little blip in the timeline.
Right.
For him to even know that happened, it just like implies a little bit more than I was expecting.
He's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's scary. If he's going to send Linda Park, we know that's not the biggest gun he has. There's got to be an Earth 2 Iris, an Earth 2 Joe West, his dad, his mom.
Well, that's what the people in the chat room were saying, that they can't wait to see Barry's doppelganger from Earth 2.
Himself?
Yeah, himself. Do you guys think that's going to happen?
Do you remember, what was the episode that we saw Barry fight Barry? Because there was some, was it mirror? I don't remember. It was some metahuman that could change shapes, and they became Iris, and there was that huge fight choreographed scene.
He had like the white skin over his eyes.
Yes.
I think he was
Was
shot.
it a question?
I forget his name.
They killed him because he was posing as Harrison or Harrison or Eddie or somebody.
Right, but
shot him.
that's kind of like this whole season. Just, we can bring in whoever we want, and he's just going to have to
deal with it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Oh, again, the chat roll. What if they bring in the Iris from Earth 2 and it's a metahuman? I mean, that could be for anybody.
I guess.
Yeah.
I think that it would
I
be
think it'd be a coincidence, though. Big coincidence.
Yeah. I think it'd be a really big problem for them to bring in a Barry Allen from Earth 2 because it would be such a big event for the show.
Oh, it was Hannibal. Thanks,
Hannibal. It would be such a big event for the show if they brought in a second Barry Allen, and they would have to get rid of him quickly because then it'd be like the show with like 2 Barry Allens, and that's not going to be like this season.
Yeah, but I guess Barry Allen could be our big bad of the week.
It's true.
Well, and I think that's what's was it one of you that predicted that Zoom's identity is actual Barry Allen?
I mean, yeah, that's a theory that's going around.
I know that
It was me.
It was you.
I predicted
Take credit, Roxy, please. I know that would just create a lot of problems for me because the body structure of Dr. Zoom at the moment is not like skinny Barry Allen. And I would just have to call like BS on that.
Well, but it's a different universe.
He hit the gym over on Earth 2.
Yeah.
You know.
GTL.
Okay.
Gym 10 Laundry?
Yeah.
That was a good Jersey Shore reference. I like that one. Tauri, I didn't expect that out of you.
I'm full of surprises.
You really are.
Oh my god. Well, tell us this, Tauri and Roxy, if you want. Dr. Light was very intent on killing Linda Park, as a lot of the metahumans are, killing their doppelgangers. Why is that so important to do?
No. She wasn't intent, I would say. I think that from the story I gathered, or like the things that she had said, I think that she was more trying to take Linda's place in this world so that that Zoom wouldn't come after her. So essentially she would hide in plain sight as Earth 1 Linda.
Oh, that's a good disguise.
Yeah.
I think that if there are 2 of you, then people know something's up. And if there's 1 of you, nobody knows. So Atom Smasher, who killed Atom Smasher, that's who killed his Earth 2 one, right?
Yeah.
That's because then he could take the place of Atom Smasher and nobody would know. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just a smart plan.
I mean, pretty much.
Okay, that makes sense.
She didn't even know there was an Earth 1 Linda Park until Barry threw that out there. Linda? How do you know my name? Oh, like, should I just reenact the whole thing?
Starlight,
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually, it's Starlight. I want Starlight.
Starlight,
Starbright?
Starbright. We do that sometimes.
Yo, dude, that's some crazy shit.
Day man. Ah.
Okay, so just to wrap up the Dr. Light storyline, Iris shoots her helmet, it bounces off, yada yada yada. What happened at the end?
and then the helmet goes off, and they're like, Vibe, deal with this. And everybody's like, Vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. We have to talk about Vibe. Wait, before we get there,
What do you mean have to? I'm so excited.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, no, we have to. We have to. Before we get there, though, I have to mention that it was very cool and, like, similar to last season, seeing Wells and Jay, like, speaking into Barry's ear from, like, the control center and, like, telling him what to do and, like, how to defeat and how to create a speed mirage.
Well, and Jay are now part of the flashlights. They are.
Yeah.
By the way, there was another suggestion earlier from a guy in the chat, Charles, the flashbacks.
Ooh.
Like they've got the flashes back. Flashbacks.
Oh, that's really funny.
Cool too.
I like that.
Nice.
Okay, let's zoom into some Vibe stuff.
Haha.
Pretty good.
He was outed.
Yeah.
Real quick. Way faster than I thought it was going to happen.
People did not have a problem with it.
It would be kind of messed up if they did.
Yeah.
But at least show some, like, surprise, no?
I mean, I think they were more just concerned. I mean, because we've seen powers run the gamut to where, like, some people, their powers are killing them. Some people, they are super dangerous. So, like, I think that the first thing was, what is your power? And then, why would you keep it from us? We're your friends.
I know.
I just think it's so interesting that they didn't have a plethora of questions. Like, yo, how long have you been able to do this? Like, what exactly does it mean? But I think the second they saw that he doesn't have a grasp on it yet, they probably realized it's relatively new.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I liked that the eye watch that Wells created, like, proved it to him.
Right.
Mm-hmm, that was really cool. But what was the deal with when he touched the helmet, couldn't get the vibe, and then Wells touched him, and then he got the vibe?
Oh, I thought it was like a third time's a charm thing. I wasn't reading into it.
Oh.
I figured that he can only use it when he's in, like, an agitated state. So especially with Wells shoving it into his chest, kind of flashing back to when Wells put his hand through his chest.
Yeah.
I think that like was enough to spark his power.
So it had nothing to do with Wells being from Earth 2.
I mean, it could have. I mean, you could assume that that both of those items, the helmet and Wells, resonate at a certain frequency.
Right.
And so having both of them in contact with him only enhanced that frequency, which allowed him to kind of vibe with
Which is kind of what I was thinking, but I guess the agitated state makes sense. We're going to have to see him vibe a little more so we know how it happened. By the way, I guess we can officially call him Vibe.
Yeah.
Because
let's
that's what the
do
flashlights
it.
are calling him.
Yeah. Tell me if I'm reading too much into this, but in his first vision where he sees Dr. Light in the bank, she's throwing lights at people and then she throws one at him in the vision, and then he, like, wakes up and is back at Jitters. Was that her seeing him in the vision?
No,
no.
I don't think so.
Okay.
She was just taking out, like, a camera or a light, whatever the fixture
was
on the
just
wall
near
was.
him.
Yeah, he just happened to be there.
Okay, I couldn't tell if, like, she was seeing him, and then I was like, this is a whole nother thing.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I don't think so.
Okay, this power is a very passive power. It's not gonna, like, hurt anybody. It's not gonna, while it's great knowledge, it's not gonna help him on the battlefield if he's going out with Flash.
Vibe.
At the moment, the powers we're seeing, is that
Right.
gonna change? Do these powers expand somehow? We can expect from the comics?
Someone in the comments from last week was telling me that essentially he becomes like Quake in the Marvel universe, and that he can also, like, vibrate matter, essentially. So he would be able to shake you apart molecule by molecule.
That's very active. Great.
I would have to assume that the way that the Flash's powers have evolved, that Vibes will as well. And week after week, we'll see more things be able to happen.
Yeah.
Yes. They're definitely building a super team. From Vibe to Wells now, and, like, Jay Garrick.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, well, speaking of the powers evolving and building a super team, we see Flash be able to do something tonight that we have never seen him be able to do before.
The Mirage.
Yeah. Talk about a super team. He is a one-man super team.
Yeah. And not to
You like that one? I tried.
not to
like it a lot.
harp on the like Wells thing, but that moment, if anything would make you distrust him, it would be that. Because one, if Jay Garrick didn't suggest it, then you could assume that Wells had to learn about the speed mirage from somewhere else. Because, I mean, there are only, as far as we know, 2 speedsters in Earth 2. There's Zoom and there's the Flash. But essentially Wells had this knowledge without any prior exposure to it. So it has to make you wonder where he got that from.
I think that's a great point. Also, can we say WTF to the fact that Jay Garrick just left them?
Yeah.
Like, even
Not
though he
for
didn't-
long.
Yeah, even though he didn't agree with what was going on, like, okay, stay.
He's just still really upset that he didn't get his kiss with Snow.
Oh,
It's true.
He just wants a little Caitlin Snow kiss.
that was
Yeah.
the weirdest moment to lean into a kiss for, though.
It was a little strange. I am liking their whatever relationship more and more every week.
Yeah.
But it was, for me, the least romantic moment possible.
I agree.
But,
Do you think we're going to see
alright.
more of that develop?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
definitely.
I'm sure he's waiting outside of Star Labs, being like, "Why didn't she chase me?"
It's not my favorite ship on the show right now, though.
Is he whiny? Well, what is your favorite ship? Is it anybody at Jitters?
I cannot explain to you how obsessed I am with Patty. She is so freaking cute.
Oh, I thought you were
yeah.
going to talk about
Sierra Renee.
Oh,
I love her.
Oh, wait.
I love her too.
Okay, let's talk about Patty.
All right. Well, I love Patty and Barry. I loved this date night. I loved everything Cisco did. The fact that she was a detective and figured it out. She's so freaking cute. The way he finally asked her, and then he didn't stand her up. I love it. I love it. It's perfect for now.
Everything you said about Patty, I agree with 100%.
She's so cute.
I'm so smitten with her.
I know. I love so many of the women on the show. I love all of the women on this show.
Oh, yeah.
And you just mentioned another one that I love. We'll get to her, though.
Yeah, totally. But just like her on the show is bringing this like amazing energy, and Linda Park, to me, the character is not that crazy likable. So then to have Patty Spivot there, I'm like, yes.
She's so giggly.
She is. She's adorable. She's she's so fun, and she also knows what she's doing.
Yeah, she's
So,
smart.
Yeah. So she's a really well-developed character. And like she has all these really odd like dark backstory moments that they keep like just throwing in there like lackadaisically.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
She keeps mentioning like the drowning, and she said it's like time travel. She makes all these references. There was a theory out there already that she is from Earth 2, but I'm going to take that theory one step further. Not only is she from Earth 2, but the second she saw Barry, she felt a little smitten because on Earth 2, Barry is her boyfriend. Barry Allen is already her boyfriend. She's comfortable with him. She really likes him. Or at least she's had a crush on him or something over there. She already knows Barry Allen Earth 2, and she's from Earth 2.
I mean, it wouldn't be that big a stretch. She's
It's
new
true.
to like the city.
She said,
Yeah.
she was like, I really like this city, as if it was a whole different universe. Mm-hmm. Although, in all fairness, Hawk Girl said that too, so.
Yeah.
Totally.
A lot of people like in the city.
That was just such a funny scene with Cisco behind the camera, like telling him what to do and say, and the fact that it's black and white.
Yeah, I loved it.
And we got our kiss.
And she caught him, the kiss. And she put his hands on her neck. It was so
cute.
perfect.
It was awesome.
I love loving love. I do. It's better than
for that.
actually loving.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So for everyone who doesn't know, although I think everybody does know, the barista at Jitters, who
Kendra Sommers.
Kendra Sommers,
Yeah.
is going to be Hawk Girl in the Legends of Tomorrow.
Right.
Hawk. Sorry if I didn't pronounce it correctly. Hawk Girl, not Hot Girl.
I mean, she's
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
All right, talk about my
She's
girl
cool.
crush in real life. Oh, you guys know that I got to talk to her at Comic-Con. I think that she is the actual sweetest person I've ever spoken to. I am completely obsessed with her. The second I saw her on tonight's episode, Jeff, you like hit me under the table. You're like, it's your girl. I love her. I can't stop talking about her. She's so humble. She can't believe she was cast in this. She's never really been in much. She came from plays. She is so talented. She killed it in tonight's episode. This is the second time we've actually seen her on The Flash. We saw her when she was standing in the street and the Flash ran by her and she kind of turned her head last season. So oh my God, I love it. I just don't know exactly where they're going with her and Cisco. That's a little confusing to me.
I like it. Is it confusing bad or good?
Well, I just think Cisco's being a little player in a
yeah.
good way, which I like seeing that. I just know she's going to Legends tomorrow, so I don't know if it's going to work with Cisco. And I know Golden Glider, so I don't know if it's going to work with Cisco. I want somebody who is going to work because
Yeah.
Cisco's awesome. But so is she.
You just want the best for Cisco.
Yeah. I'm a lover of love.
I mean, I think that they could work. I mean,
Maybe.
there's no reason why they can't be a great couple and also she goes time traveling. I'm just saying.
Very true. Caitlin and Ronnie made it work
It's true.
for a little.
Yeah, and I think that Cisco
Rest in
needs a
peace.
super. He needs someone who is a meta or special in some way because I mean, he's a meta, and two, like he's this super genius, like tech amazing guy. He can't settle for just anybody.
She made the comment tonight about metahumans. Do you think she's not Hawk Girl yet? Do you think what do you think's going on?
I think so. I don't remember how she hides her wings, but I think she is Hawk Girl already. If not, actually now I've just thought about it, and that when Flash ran by her in season 1, it had to have been Earth 1 Kendra Summers.
Right.
So
if I had to really read into it, I would say that she is Hawk Girl and moved here because like there are metahumans here, and
From
she like,
Earth
wants to be
2?
around there from Earth 1, and that she like knows like there are a lot of metahumans here. I'm not different, you know.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
think she got her wings and her powers from the particle accelerator?
Or something else. Yes, though.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm interested.
We'll see.
I'm interested to see how they explain her as Hawk Girl.
Legends of Tomorrow, 2016.
Yeah, dude. And then I don't want to do a full news and gossip segment tonight, but I just want to mention that Andrew Kreisberg, who is the EP and the showrunner of this show, sorry, Flash, and he also works on Arrow and Supergirl and all those. He just signed an overall deal with Warner Brothers to be creating a lot more series for them. Whether or not they're comic books, we don't know, but that's very exciting for him.
Nice.
It is.
Andrew Kreisberg. Should we do some premonitions? Wait,
Predictions?
predictions.
Premonitions, definitely.
A premonition. I'm with the vibe.
Your
mindset.
AfterBuzz TV.
The chat is still talking about Hawk Girl. They're saying she's an alien, how she's hiding her wings, all this stuff. It's cool that this show's getting people so excited about her.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's the way to bring them over to your next show.
It's so awesome and like I don't want to say easy, but like lucky that they're able to introduce these characters and have us fall in love with them ahead of time.
They have a fan base going into a show.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And in terms of next week, though, predictions, I'm super nervous for Linda Park. I can't believe we're throwing her in like this.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, because she's a regular person. She's not part of the flashlights. She's not
Right.
In on all the crazy stuff that's happening.
She's probably like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Do you think that they're gonna have to reveal that Barry is the Flash to her? That's just one more reporter.
Right. I mean, she would have to start making the connections if once she sees like Iris is there and like Caitlin Snow. Like she has to. On a side note, the newspaper that they work for must be in terrible straits because this is their second editor that they've lost. But anyway, that was a side note.
Yeah. At least he got a line in tonight's episode.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you think she might die?
No, because Wally West's coming on, so I
It's
think...
his love interest?
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna die. Long-term prediction I have, though, unrelated to what we're talking about, but tonight, we were all speaking about this a little bit, so I guess it might be a group prediction. When Wells goes and he's holding up his machine he made, he holds it to Caitlin and sees that she's not a metahuman, we think that Killer Frost is hiding on Earth 2. Maybe not hiding, but gallivanting is on.
Yeah.
Or Earth 3.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. A lot. I mean, now that they've introduced Earth 2 and like the multiverse, it just makes it so easy
Right.
to have these things.
Yeah.
But also unfortunate because if they didn't have that and they introduced Killer Frost, then we would most likely have her for a while. But if she's from Earth 2, she can like go back very easily.
We could kidnap her, put her in the pipeline if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, I would love that.
You know, then have little side things where Caitlin's talking to Frost and they're just gabbing and stuff. That'd be fun.
Nails and stuff. I get it.
Right?
Okay, guys, we gotta wrap up. On that
wrap
note, where can everybody find you until next time?
You guys can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar.
You can find me at Tauri J, Taurijay.
Guys, I'm also everywhere at Jeff Masters 1. We'll be back next week. Good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.